Hi, this is Amelia and Elizabeth, and we are here with Bill from Northtale. Thank you for having this interview with us today. We really appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you guys for having me. Thank you for the opportunity.
So, how's everything been going for you?
Well, it's been pretty good. We're all pretty excited about the release of the record. Been doing quite a few interviews, trying to promote it. But unfortunately, today we had the sad news that our first European tour with Unleash the Archers got canceled. And so that's kind of a bummer because it was going to be our first time going on tour. We've done festivals before, but not a full tour. And that's kind of a bummer. So, but other than that, it's exciting times because of the album. It's been a while. We've been waiting forever for this.
That sucks that you can't go on tour. Hopefully soon.
Yeah, I know. I hope so. I myself still get to go. I'm doing a bunch of shows with Doro in Europe, but the band, I was excited about coming with the band for the first time. But, hopefully, things will improve soon and all that. I guess we all can hope.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that as well. Like, you're doing 4 shows with Doro, so that's exciting, and what can fans expect?
Yeah, I've played with her before. I've been to Russia with her. I've done an American tour. I've done a couple of festivals also in Sweden with her. So it will be a really cool set list. At least for me as a musician, I'm going to be playing some songs that I never did before with her. So that is a little bit of a change. And it will be super cool to be able to support Michael Schenker. He's a huge idol of mine. It's going to be cool to meet him and all that. And those are some pretty awesome venues in the UK that we're doing. So I'm really looking forward to that. That's the next thing on the plan for me, kind of. I'm leaving on the 25th to go do that.
We're excited for you.
Yeah, thank you.
And back to your album, Eternal Flame. It's out on November 12th, so what can fans expect?
So this is the most personal, most honest, I'm very happy. I couldn't be happier than I am with this album, the pandemic forced everyone to sit at home. I personally had 50 some shows canceled between all the bands that I had to tour with, and so that gave me time to sit at home and write the record that, at least in my opinion, was the best I could do. It's a lot different than the first album for sure. So anybody that likes the first album know that this will be different, not in a bad way. It's still the same happy choruses, the same power metal style. It's just a lot more experimental. It gets heavier, it gets darker, it gets Brazilian because, now we have a Brazilian singer and I myself am from Brazil. So it gets orchestral, all elements that we didn't get to explore in the first album that will be present this time around. But still very much, power metal, happy songs and all that.
And do you feel like this is a continuation of your last album and the song Only Human is a great bridge?
Well, thank you. That was the idea, you know what I mean? I feel that the new album is a lot more diverse and different than the first one, but I also didn't want to throw a curveball at the fans, So Only Human could have been on the first album, really. And it was a good way to introduce the new singer and kind of write music that's similar. And honestly, I've read some people online saying stuff like, well, it just sounds like the first album. Well, I guarantee you it does not. It's just this one song so people wouldn't think we changed too much. Although I'm really proud of it, I love the song, but it's the most like the first album that we have.
And what was your writing and recording process for Eternal Flame?
It was basically all done online, just like the first time, with the difference that we had a real producer around. We had Dennis Ward from Pink Cream 69, Unisonic, and Halloween, and Dennis was working with me from the very beginning before I even had the singer. We've done pre-production together. I basically wrote every song this time around and sent it to the band, but I collaborated with the singer on a lot of the lyrics. I mean, the way it worked was me and Dennis sat and listened to everything, saw what we like, what we didn't like, we cut it off, and we got everyone else's input, and the recording process wasn't different, because we're spread all over the world. I'm in Florida. Me and the drummer are both in Florida. And then the keyboard player is in Missouri, which might as well be another country, even though it's still U.S. is super far. And then our bass player is in Sweden, and the new singer is in Brazil. So and the producer is in Germany. So it was really hard to make that work, but Dennis was used to this. Dennis, our producer, was used to this software called Audio Movers, where audio is delivered basically in real time. And he was part of the recording sessions and everything, and he was there with us the whole time. It was all done online, everything done online. The drums were done here in Florida, then the guitars as well. And everybody else did their parts at home, and we had a big studio for the vocals in Brazil. And I flew there to be with the singer and sort of direct him too. So it was a lot of work, man. It must have taken us 4 months, 5 months, something altogether, But I mean, I got to say that I'm happy with the result. It's definitely what I wanted.
Yeah, definitely. And that sounds like a cool software as well. I'll have to check it out.
You should. If you do any sort of streaming with other people, I feel old because I didn't know it, but it's awesome because being at home is a more comfortable setup than being sitting in a studio, and if you can do that in real time, because that's normally the problem, all the delay and latency and all that. But if you can bring that to close to zero, it becomes really comfortable to work. You should check it out. It's called Audio Movers Listen To. And okay. I'm not endorsed.
No, but now you might be. So
yeah, they should pay me back the $8 that we paid for the subscription. Damn it.
And can you tell us about your album cover? Who designed it, and is there any meaning behind it?
I don't have anything super intelligent to say about the album cover, other than the fact that we wanted for it to look super cool. Well, the first album, we had that whole ice concept, and the thing is, that was mainly because we had so many Swedish people in the band at the time. 3 of us were Swedish at that time. So we were like, okay, Sweden's a cold-ass place, blah, blah, blah. We play power metal, duh. Let's talk about being, cold and ice. And then when we got rid of the Swedish singer and got a Brazilian singer in, I'm like, bring some Brazilian fire and melt that ice, So that's kind of the concept of the cover. It's like, the band, it's not super original. It's like the band didn't really die. Nothing really happened because we got a new singer, and so what we do burns eternal. But the truth is, we just wanted something that looked cool in March. And the designer was Gustavo Sazes. Sorry, I forgot to mention his name. Gustavo Sazes. He's done a lot of covers. He's done Amaranth, Camelot, Machine Head, just about anyone that has a cool album cover. He basically designed it. He also happens to be from Brazil, so that was pretty easy to work with him.
That's cool. And you did a cover of Erase by Ed Sheeran with the International Metal Army, so that's really cool. What inspired you to pick this song? Yeah, I mean, I was talking to J.K. one day. We're really, 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 really good friends. And I was like, man, everybody's doing these online collabs. Should we do one too? And he's like, yeah, I'm actually thinking about doing an Ed Sheeran song. And I'm like, I actually like Ed Sheeran a lot. What song are you thinking? He didn't have one in mind. And I'm like, dude, let's do Eraser because he raps. You know what I mean? You being Swedish and rapping over Ed Sheeran's gonna be super unexpected. And then he's like, well, how about we get Vic to play too? Vic is our friend Vikram Shankar. He's a fantastic keyboard player. He's in Redemption and Silent Skies. And he did an amazing job, and I brought in Michael from Northtale, and J.K. brought Alex Landenberg, his drummer in Syra, and also Camelot. And that's what was cool. We kind of started a band without really starting a band. We kind of did this project online, and but it sounded so cool. We're actually planning on releasing more. That's cool. I can't wait to hear the other stuff you do as well.
Oh, I'm glad you listened to that. That's awesome.
And now it's time for our signature question. So if you could have any band play one of your songs, which band would it be? Which song would it be? And would it be in your style or their style?
Wow, that's a great question. All right, so let me think. I would love to see Halloween play our song Shape Your Reality from the first album, because I was basically just trying to copy them, So it would be cool. It would be cool to see them playing that.
That would be cool.
Yeah, if anyone in Halloween is listening, dudes, get on it. You got to cover our song.
And what's your favorite memory watching someone else perform live? Can you tell us a story?
My favorite memory. So there's a lot, but I mean, I think it's become a favorite memory because it's now so classic. But my first show, when I was 10 years old, I went and saw Michael Jackson on the Dangerous tour. 1993, and I mean, I was just a kid, and it was this huge stadium show, and I had, my parents and their friends with. But I remember it was insane because we were there all day at the stadium waiting for the show. When he got on stage, I could hardly believe it. It was almost like he was an alien. It was that show was kind of pretty much changed my life. I mean, and then as far as like a show that I went and I was a little more aware of it, of what things were and not so young, that was probably Steve Vai in like 1998 in Brazil. That was pretty mind-blowing to me. It was one of my favorite shows ever.
Wow, that's cool. 2 awesome shows.
Yeah, for sure.
I love Steve Vai. I've seen him live myself. He's really good.
Yeah, Steve Vai, he's like one of my biggest influences, biggest heroes, And this show back in 98, when he was like 30-something years old, it was pretty mind-blowing.
Yeah, definitely. There's a song on that album you call the Slayer song, so what inspired this?
So how do you know I call it the Slayer song?
I listened to another interview.
Oh, that's awesome. I love it. Because the actual song title is Midnight Bells.
Yes.
But the working title was the Slayer song, and the reason was because there were so many riffs that I lifted from Slayer, which is not really a thing that people do in this genre of power metal, So especially the middle section I was thinking in my head, Slayer, but instead of like a really weird guitar solo, just put a keyboard solo on top of it, power metal Slayer. So that's one of my favorite songs on the album. And it gets really heavy. Also, the lyrical content is awesome. It's about this Brazilian religion. I didn't write the lyrics, but our new singer did, and he did an amazing job. It's about his religious beliefs. Like at first glance, if you look at it, it might sound like he's talking about a ghost or a demon, but it's not. It's literally his spiritual guide. So these are really deep lyrics and a really, really, really rocking song. That's one of my favorites.
And I also heard that you have a song called Eve, and it's a tribute to your mum's dog, and I think that's really cute as well.
Yes. Wow, I was just talking to my mom about it before this interview, about this song, because she, unfortunately, Evie passed away at the time I was kind of writing that song. And, I channel my emotions through music. I'm not really good at demonstrating otherwise. And I saw my mom got really sad, and I was like, I got to do something, like some sort of present, some sort of tribute. And that was my little tribute to her. She was an awesome dog. She was my mom's companion for like 15 years. She was so tiny. She was maybe like 600 grams,
Mm.
And unfortunately she passed away. But I mean, she was pretty old. She was probably 17, and I figured the song could be a good, parts of the song reminded me of Star Wars, and I was like, well, Princess Evie. That's what I named her on that song.
Oh, that's so cute.
Oh, I'm glad you even knew that story.
Yes. And last question, is there anything else you would like to say to your fans?
Yes. Please check out Eternal Flame, because it is the best thing I've ever done in my life musically. It's far superior than our first album. And I really hope everyone likes it. And I really hope that we can make it to Australia sometime soon, although I know this is also in the States, but I really hope that we get to tour, that we get to tour this year. So ask your local promoters and bug your magazines to talk about us and your radio stations and all that. And yeah, check out the album, because at least I think it's super awesome. Out November 12th through Nuclear Blast Records.
Awesome. Thank you so much for this interview today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, both of you. That was really cool. Thank you for the opportunity. And I hope I'll talk to you guys in the future again.